Alright, I think we are ready to start. Hello Ghouls, Ghosts, and Themlins, this is CyberBattiee, and welcome to our first Creative Corner Dynamic Hands Study livestream. So, we're actually trying out this new layout that we did for the stream. This is an experimental layout, it might not stay this way, but for now, let's see how it works out for today. But yes, super excited to try this out and see how it works. Starting to feel like a real YouTuber for a little bit here. Alright, no more fooling around, let's get into this. So we've got, this is the part 4 of the time-lapse series that we was doing, but this time this is going to be a more interactive version. We're going to be doing this live. It might take a couple of hours, but we are here for the duration, right? Come experiment with us and see how this live stream works out. All right. Go. Okay, here we are. So we're gonna start basically with a outline of the hand. This is actually my hand. Yeah, let's go ahead and start. Let's go ahead and start. We're doing this on a Cintiq 22 HD, and we're still learning how to work it, so forgive us if there's an error or two happening here. Yeah, I actually don't like how this is coming out. Maybe something a little darker. Yeah, much better. But yeah, this is the 4th part of the series. If you guys haven't checked out the other videos, I'll link it in the description below. And of course, the iCards later on when I edit the video. But yeah, let us know how you feel about this new setup. If you have any qualms with it, if it's hard to read or anything like that, we want to make sure that the viewers are actually enjoying what they're watching. So we do want to eventually expand on this series and start doing maybe dynamic poses. As of right now, it's just hands, since I find hands is the most difficult thing for us to draw. I'm sure it's difficult for a lot of folks to do. It doesn't hurt to have a little practice here and there with some things, you know? Oh yes, and I should also mention, the music we're actually listening to is a synthwave mix by Enter Dystopian Records. We've credited their YouTube channel down below in the description, so definitely check out their channels. They have some awesome music. We definitely use a lot of their stuff whenever we're doing work, like off camera, on camera. We tend to use a lot of their music, so definitely shout out to them for having some pretty sweet music. Damn, trying to get this line right. We're actually not affiliated with them, just, you know, disclaimer. But yeah, still, check out their channel. Amazing stuff. Yeah, this project originally started as a time-lapse series, and what usually takes me like 3 hours to draw this, we speed up, and it's about like 8 minutes, 10 minutes at max. I'm actually using this really sweet remote that I had to buy separately for this freaking Cintiq. It's been a learning experience, you know, to say the least, but it's been a good one, I would say. I mean, it's definitely, I think once I get used to it, it will definitely streamline my artwork. But for right now, there's a lot of growing pains, so sometimes I catch myself using the mouse still, and I'm just like, wait, I have this freaking mouse sitting right here, right next to the remote, and I'm like, wait, did I use the remote or did I use the mouse? I don't even remember anymore. Just checking the comment section real quick. Yeah, for any more seasoned artists out there, I'm very slow and precise with my strokes, so I'm sure some people, they can just, bam, slap out a line art piece in like 5 minutes, and for me it takes me like 2 hours. But I guess that's just how it is when you're a perfectionist. Looks like a penis. Gonna try not to think it's a penis. There we go. So The key with this line here, with these lines here, I want to try to get a little bit of shadow in here, but I don't want to make the line art to be too dark there, because then it gives the appearance of like age, and the final piece might make it seem like this is an old 80-90-year-old person's hand when no, it's not. I'm not that old yet. But I will put in a couple of little dashes here to give me we will be turning off the reference photo, so I'm going to be going off of either memory or, you know, quick peeks back and forth between the reference photo and having it on and off to see where shadow and light should fall on the piece. Oops. Oops, damn it. There we go. Yeah, like, see, like right here, I do want to put a little bit of, like, a line of light right here and a little bit of, maybe a medium kind of shadow here and here. But I don't want it to be a super dark line, because then it looks too much. So I'm actually going to erase this, but yeah. Here too, we're going to put a little bit of line, a little bit of light shadowing. Where would the palm be without the little M for murder? Did anybody else, you know, think that when they were in like high school that the hand lines meant like murder, that you're going to be murdered when you're older? No, was that just us? Alright, I think we have a good base here. Do want to soften this little curve real quick. It was very, like a hard line, a hard curved line there. Maybe make this darker right here. Alright. I'm just gonna drop a hard save real quick. Yeah, normally the channel is just gaming stuff, but I do like hosting Creative Night on Thursdays. I have been trying to get more into the schedule of, how to say, not schedule, routine of creating something artistic every Thursday. Not many people know this, but I'm an artist by trade. Like, I went to college with the intentions of becoming either illustrator, a professional illustrator, or a tattoo designer, or maybe even a video game designer. And I haven't really been doing much art. As someone who lives with mental illness, it's difficult for me to find the motivation to create some days. So I've been using the YouTube channel's scheduling of Creative Corner days every Thursday to try to get back into creating more stuff every Thursday. And I'm not gonna lie, it hasn't been easy. You know, there are some days where you really just don't want to get out of bed. So to then get up, go on the computer, and actually draw something that you don't absolutely hate is a struggle. That's okay. We're gonna keep going with it and seeing where we go, you know? Alright, so I was using that hard round pressure brush for the line work. Let's move this. And now we're gonna do probably a charcoal brush. I'm gonna sit here and pick one that I actually like. I really like the aesthetic of like pastels and charcoal, like the texture. I really like charcoal pieces, so that's what I've been trying to emulate with these dynamic hand studies. I kind of like this one. Just the look of this brush is pretty cool. I'm gonna try this one. Alright, so this is what we have with the line art off, the reference photo off. so I actually say that we missed a bit right there. I'm gonna have to fix that in a bit, but for right now. Let's go ahead and eyedropper tool some of the the lighter colors of this, and then some of the darker colors. Oops. Did we do the wrong thing? I kind of want something a little bit brighter than that. I'm just gonna like eyedropper around and see what lighter color I like. No, that's way too yellow. Maybe somewhere around here. A little more muted than that. I'm not that pink. Yeah, that's fine. All right. So we want to try to emulate that shadowing that's happening, the light, the contrast, the high contrast here, this dark bit here underneath my pinky. And then we have this bit of blue light on the right edge. We do definitely want to pick that up, but that'll be last in the design process. Also, I should probably say, I am by no means the best artist in the world, so don't use this as like a tutorial of how to draw hands and how to do this and how to do that. This is just me experimenting, so it might not look great to some people. It might even be horrible looking, but that's okay. The idea here is not to make the most amazing art piece in the world, you know? Alright, actually, I do want to start with the shadows first, so we're gonna hit X on the keyboard to switch the color palette from the foreground color to the background color. Yeah, so I'm gonna start here and try to round with this brush, do like a nice organic edge, I guess, if you want to call it that, and then we're gonna blend it in with the lighter color. So we're going in with a lower opacity brush. And we're just gonna place a little color in there. I'm actually gonna lower this opacity, it's very dark. So for the spots here that have like that dark shadowing, you know, I'm actually thinking that we should undo some of that bright color we did here. Yeah, let's go back a little bit, a couple steps back. Yeah, there we go. For like the lines here that accentuate the curve of the joint on the finger, we are definitely going to go in with a small brush and just accentuate that dark line a bit. Not too much, because like I said before, I don't want to make it appear to be a 90-year-old's hand. But yeah, we will be blending and adding more lighter colors to this, so it won't be super dark. This finger doesn't have as much dark shadow as the other one did. It's mostly just right here. It's concentrated to the top right section. The thumb has the most dynamic shadowing. It has a lot of high contrast, so maybe we should start here. It's like around here, like that. Oh, actually, I... Okay, well, let's just use that little line I did there. So we're going to be switching between small brushes, big brushes, size brushes, rather. And just adding a bit of color. I'm going to lower the opacity a little more to 10. We don't want a super hard edge. We do want the hands to look organic, and it's not going to be organic if there's like hard lines at the end, you know? Okay. Let's rotate. Oops. There we go. Rotate the canvas a little bit. Yeah, I gotta get better with using this remote faster. But we're getting there. We'll learn. Here we go with the darker shadowing on these little lines. I'm gonna make the darkest part of the shadow where the lines actually are, and then like taper it out at the edge, at the edges. See that weird line I left there? We're gonna try to hide that a little more. Blend it in more with the dark shadowing. Feel free, if any of you folks have any questions, feel free to ask, as long as it's, you know, a respectful question. Totally open to, you know, friendly conversation. Let's actually Control 0 to zoom all the way out. Hit R on the keyboard to go to rotate. Enter 0 for the canvas to rotate back into the 0 degrees. Hit enter. Control 0 to stretch the canvas to the size of the window. Hit B for the brush tool. For any folks who are wondering what key commands I'm using. Alright, so now we want to move on to this underside of the pinky. Says that and then starts doing the M. Alright, no, yeah, let's go to the pinky. Oops, okay, there we go. Now we're gonna rotate a little more. Alright. Sorry about that, folks. Was answering some questions in the chat. Also, adjusting the music. It was a little loud. Sorry about that. Alright, back to this. We're gonna go in underneath the pinky and add a little bit of shadowing. Oops, wrong. There we are. Alright, time to add a little bit of darkness, but we don't want to add too much. We will be blending, like I said before, so if we make it a little too dark, that's alright. We also want to kind of darken around where the line is, since I don't want the line art left over after all the color to pop too much and make it look a little less organic, less realistic. But it's okay if it's not. This is just experimentation after all. It doesn't have to be super amazing. If anybody else has any other issues with hearing me over the music, let me know in the chat. I'll try to adjust. So yeah, we're just going in with various size brushes. The opacity is set to 10%. Sometimes we'll even drop it to 5%, depending on where and how much shadow we're using. For like those super dark areas, it might be helpful to switch your brush setting to multiply. I've done that in my other designs before. For this one, I'm just sticking to normal. I don't want it to be too complicated. Since this is just supposed to be a study, it doesn't have to look a certain way. But yeah, that's definitely the route I typically go when I'm doing an actual piece, an actual painting, a digital rendering of some sort. For any shadow layers, I set it to multiply or darken. Both of those settings are really good for shadow. So, random fun fact, it took me like 6 hours today to set up that little subscribe button that you see at the bottom left corner of my screen. I was sitting here on YouTube for like an hour just trying to figure out how to get it to show up the way I wanted it to. So the fact that I just heard it show up on the stream, like, super tickles me pink. Like, holy cow, I'm almost a professional here. Yeah, we want to get in here, darken that edge quite a bit. This part is probably going to be the darkest part of the whole piece. We definitely want the darkest darks and then the lightest lights. That contrast between the two will definitely make the piece pop a little bit more. It'll also help us, like, take out this dark edge, this dark line art that we've put in. Alright, a quick look at the reference photo. Yeah, so for the shadow here, I do want to leave a good portion open for the light blue that we're going to put. We're going to put like an electric, maybe cyan mix of blue right here along this edge, especially right here. This is going to make that shadow pop. I also definitely want to make sure I get this shadow from this finger here. It'll definitely make it look more realistic. So let's go ahead and put that in. Gonna put the littlest bit of shadow on this finger. Make sure to follow along the lines here. Oh yeah, speaking of that little subscribe button, totally subscribe to my channel. Probably should have said that when it actually happened. Damn it, I missed my opportunity to shamelessly plug. Yeah, we stream every Tuesday. Not typically art videos, but maybe if this video like works for a lot of people and they enjoy this type of thing from our channel, then maybe I might do live streams every Thursday instead of the typical like time lapses or speed paints. We might be making the shadow a little too dark at this point. It's alright. Alright, now for this finger. Yeah, along this line right here, we're gonna follow along with the nail. Yeah. Honestly, we could just do it like that. Make a little line for where the blue is going to lie. Yeah. Sweet. For any new people, welcome to the channel. I'm a digital artist. I post art videos every Thursday or every other Thursday, depending on, you know, how I'm feeling with things. I also do gaming content every Tuesday. We live stream to my Twitch channel every Tuesday at 6 p.m. Anywhere between 6 and 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, so definitely check us out there. My Twitch channel is linked in the description below. I'm kind of eager to get into the M areas because this looks like a lot of dark shadowing. Yeah, it looks like this finger here has the least amount of shadow because of the way it's placed. So I don't want to make it too dark compared to the others. We're going to go into this one right here though and add a little darkness right along this knuckle line and right here. These knuckle lines should be a little darker. Okay, so let's go ahead and move on to the M section. So it looks like we've got this bit of light here. Just gonna give us a little map to kind of follow. Now we are gonna go inside these dark, deeper lines. Just try to blend those out a little more. But we do want to make sure we leave space for this highlight that's going to be next after we do the shadowing. We do want to follow this line here. We're going to taper the edge a bit. Same thing with over here. I'm going to get in there, make sure we have like a dark shadowing happening. We're starting to get a nice, like, organic edge happening. It doesn't look so flat as it did before. The magic of shadow and highlights, y'all. This here we want to taper a bit. Same thing with this spot. We want a little bit of darkness on this edge. We're going to taper it at the top. It might be a little easier to increase the opacity. We're going to increase it to 15%. To do that, just press 1 and 5 on your keyboard and it automatically changes it for you. That's actually a little too dark, so I'm going to drop it to 12%. The key is to add shadow in, like darkness in slowly. Don't put too much at once because then it darkens your piece too fast. And then you end up having to blend and adding more highlight to compensate. Less is more. Keep that in mind. Oh, I feel like my art mentor in college. Less is more. Keep it simple. Don't overcomplicate the design. I heard that for 7 years, bro. Less is more. Less is more. Sometimes I don't even follow that even still. Alright, in this little dark crease we've got going on, we definitely want to add a nice amount of shadow. Especially right here. At the end of the design we will go around and clean up the edges, so this little bit right here... Actually that was too much. That's okay, we'll fix that in a minute. But yeah, in the crease we do want to have a nice amount of shadowing happening. Take a peek at the reference photo again. So yeah, remember this little I don't know if this is my tendon, I believe. Don't come at me with anatomy, okay? But yeah, we want to add a little bit of shadowing right there. Not too much, and not too little. And right here, the teeniest bit of darkness. And then we'll blend that out. Now we're going to add overall shadowing to the entire wrist and hand, the bottom, pardon me, the overall bottom of the wrist and the hand. We're actually getting a little too dark, so let's drop that to 6% opacity. Yeah, there we go. That's a little better. We're gonna do the same thing right here. We don't want it to be super dark and condensed like over here, but we do want to make sure that you can tell that this part is highlighted. Oops. This part right here is highlighted. This part is not as bright as this section, so we are going to add a little bit of shadowing right there. And just feather it out. Yeah, much better. So the reference photo, like I said before, is my own hand. And it does exist so that way we have like a map to go off of, but we don't want it to be just copy paste of the picture. We are going to go off of it just to remember where like the shadows lie exactly, but sometimes I do take a little bit of artistic liberties and I'll put a little bit more bright. Like for example, my skin tone is a little bit more yellowish than pink, but this bright color I've chosen is a lot more brighter than my actual skin tone. So, yeah, we will be doing little things here and there. The reference photo is not absolute. We don't have to follow it exactly to the key. But I do want to make sure at least the anatomy looks correct, you know? We don't want it to look like I got a foot on a finger, you know? For example. Okay, I think we're getting good with this shadow that what we have right now. We will come back and add a little more shadow after we've added some of the highlight layer. Actually, we should probably add a little shadow right here where this finger is touching the pinky. Not too much, but just enough. Definitely want to shade your nails too. Not too much, but we will be quote-unquote painting them, pun intended, at the end. That's where we'll get our little pops of color here and there. I do also like to add like a little white line at the edge of the tip of the nail. I don't know, it just kind of makes it pop a little more for me. It's almost like a French tip, but not really. Okay, I'm gonna try to pretend that the thumb doesn't look like a penis. Embrace the penis thumb. Oh yeah, totally. Shout out to our moderator, Valerian Faye. You should check out their Twitch channel. It's Valerian Faye. They do some pretty awesome crochet pieces. I have a number of their hats and sweaters and things that they've made me, blankets. And they are so freaking comfy. They do totally commit crochet crimes. But yeah, definitely they have an Etsy store. You should definitely check it out. They just made this cute freaking, if you play Stardew Valley, they just made this really cute Junimo. How do you say it? Origurumi? Sorry if I absolutely murdered that word, but it's the cutest little guy ever. I love him. He's my best friend. I just have him on my desk all the time, and he just looks happy to see me all the time, and it's so freaking, it feels so amazing to have a little guy there, just, you know. always rooting for me. But yeah, definitely go check out their Etsy store. They just finished making this poncho. It's called the Elena poncho. It's super freaking comfortable. And I've been trying to convince them to add pockets to the one that they just did. It was this pretty kind of muted lilac color. Oh, amigurumi. Thanks for the pronunciation. I never get that word correct. But yeah, the Elena poncho is so beautiful. The stitching, and they took their time and you know, made sure that this thing was done correctly. So it's not like, you know, some people who just rush through it. But this thing is it's fucking amazing, and I want one in black. Trying to convince them to add pockets to the pink one that they have. But it's on sale right now on their Etsy store, so you should definitely go check it out if you're interested in crochets, ponchos, shawls, and sweaters, hats, and things of that nature. Their Etsy shop is Valerian Faye. I can totally link it in the description below, in case anybody's interested. Or you can put the link yourself, Valerian, in the chat. Yeah, we've been obsessed playing Stardew Valley these last couple of weeks since I bought it for the Xbox.
Wait,
there is an ad playing on
so? What do you mean so? $1 gets you a dozen double crunch
hold
shrimp
on.
at Applebee's with any steak entree.
I don't care about your damn Applebee's ad. Get out of here. There we go. Okay, the music's back on. Apple babbles. I'm not being too kind. Your freaking crochet stuff is amazing. And you should be praised for the amount of hard work you put into your stuff. Seriously, guys, I love this human. You guys should check out their stuff. Seriously. Alright, so I think we're good with this shadow we've got here. We're going to Control Z or Command Z on a Mac and zoom out just to see the entire canvas. And that looks, I mean, I don't like how this shadow right here where the lines are came out. I do want to darken some spots and lighten some areas, but this is the base we're gonna work with, and now we're gonna move on to the highlight layer. Press X to switch from the background color to the foreground color on Photoshop. And I'm just gonna Control S to do a hard save real quick. Let's give that a moment to save. Yeah, that's one tip. If you're like a new graphic designer and you're new to Photoshop, you're new to digitally rendering, one tip I have for you is always save your work. If you haven't clicked Command S or Control S on a Windows, if you haven't done it for 15 minutes, stop what you're doing, save your shit, and then keep working. Make sure that the file finishes fully saving before you continue working. There has been a number of instances where I was working on a college project and I would work for hours on end. You know, I would hyper focus to the max, and I would forget to save. This one time this happened when I had a final due the next morning at 11 a.m. and it was 6 a.m. I was working, I think for like 4 hours or so, like around there, and the fucking Photoshop crashed. And the only thing I could do was sit there and fucking try not to cry my eyes out because I did not save in like 2 or 3 hours, and I lost all of that. I ended up having to ask for an extension on the final, which thankfully my professor gave me, which was awesome. I was able to redo all that work, But yeah, definitely Command S, Control S is your best friend when you're digitally rendering. Seriously. I cannot stress that fucking issue enough. Oh shit. I started adding highlight to this bit right here. Let's just undo all that. Pretend that didn't happen. There we go. Oh yeah, freaking Valerian. Remember when I didn't save for 3 hours and Photoshop crashed? Bro, I wanted to cry for you, okay? Oh yeah. You want to make sure you label your layers, especially if you're working with lots of layers. That's definitely another like organization tip. It's not just because it, you know, looks fancy, but later on if you're like trying to find a specific section of your piece and you have like 45 layers, if everything is named layer 1, layer 2, layer 3, you're not gonna know where any of your shit is. So you see how I have like this nice little fancy hand 1, hand 2, hand 3, hand 4. It's not super, you don't gotta be super organized like me, but at least name it like, I don't know, highlight or shadow, you know, do at least the basic minimum of naming it what it is. Anyway, let's go ahead and start adding some highlights. We're gonna pop on the reference photo for a second. Yeah, you look, you can already see that the shadow color I chose is like it looks kind of purplish, doesn't it? On top of the reference photo. That's kind of cool though, I kind of like that. Alright, so we want to start adding some of these highlights that you see. Oops, I kind of drew a little bit. Or maybe I did not. Has 25 unlabeled layers. Good luck finding your sketch layer, bitch. Bro, that sucks for you. Don't do that shit. Alright, yeah. We want to start up here with this light pink color that we've got in the foreground color. So, what we're gonna do, this is like, yeah, it's the highlight, but we are going to do like a even lighter color for the most brightest sections of the hand. So for right now, we're gonna start with, I want to start right here because I do want to emphasize the lightness of this, and we're going to do little bits of highlight along the folds of the skin right here. Alright, let's start by jumping this up a little bit. We're going to lower the opacity to 5%. Just hit 0.5 on your keyboard. And you'll see it change up here, the opacity. Alright, let's start doing this. Blend, blend, blend. Honestly, I sometimes even drop the opacity to 1%. Sometimes you just really need a little pop of color, but you don't want it to be that bright. Yeah, along this line is going to be the brightest section of this hand. Probably this finger too. Damn it, could you stay? Having a little trouble with the remote here. Yeah, that might have been a little too bright. We're gonna take that back a little bit. Yeah, just a little pop. There you go. I don't have the patience for that. Yeah, it does get a bit tedious. I'll be honest with you. I'm not even gonna try to pretend that I love being that organized with certain layers and stuff. Oh man, you guys should see some of my bigger pieces. I did this fucking tattoo design once, and it was huge. The file size alone was fucking huge. I don't even remember how big it was, but my computer took like a full 2 minutes just to save the design. Every time I had to stop and save, I would have to sit there and wait. At the time I was working on a really old Mac, so that didn't help. But yeah, fucking forever. I think Valerian knows what fucking tattoo I'm talking about. Three guesses. Three guesses, Valerian. Which tattoo was it? Oh my god, that one? Alright, so since we're getting down here on these folds, we don't want this to be super bright, so I'm going to drop it to 3%. Just hit 03 on your keyboard. Let me know if y'all want me to stop saying like the keyboard commands I'm using, because I don't know if that's boring to some folks. I'm just saying it in case any viewers are just like, how the hell did they get the 3% to pop up without going up here and clicking it, you know? I don't know all the keyboard commands, but I know a couple of the ones that I use the most for painting, for digital rendering. And we're just gonna follow the top of this line right here. Same thing over here. And we do want to put a little dollop of color right there. It kind of feels like I'm adding life to this gray hand. This hand is very muted, very not full of any life, very dark, kind of like a zombie hand. Damn, yo, this fucking track slaps. Yeah, you know what I'm probably gonna end up doing is adding like a little bit of muted purple to the shadow areas, because it's very muted and I'm not really liking how muted that looks. That's okay. We're gonna roll with it for right now. Let's go ahead and rotate. Also, Valerian, what do you think of the layout? How is it working for you, the stream layout? Any folks that are watching, totally let us know what y'all think about the layout. It only took me like 3 hours to set the damn thing up. If not, if the layout doesn't work for anybody, I'll probably just go back to the old layout I had before, the boring layout I had before. Oh, I'm doing the wrong thing. I'm like, why the hell is the brush size not going bigger? Instead, I'm zooming in and out of the freaking screen. All right, right here, we want to we have a little bit of the shadow kind of just seeping into the light area of this finger. Pardon me. So we're going to just lighten that up a little bit. Oh, you like seeing the process as well as the full image? Thank you, I appreciate that. Yeah, I did like three videos? Yeah, 3, because this is the 4th part. I did 3 videos of just the full-sized image without the process. It was a time lapse, so, you know, obviously why. But I just didn't like how it looked to me. It seemed so not accurate. It took me 3 hours to do those pieces, and I sped it up to like 8 minutes. So it takes out most of the trial and error process that you do for these pieces, you know? So I was trying to figure out a way to get both the process to show, but also, you know, so you can see the full image and not... For some people who get dizzy when people are just like zooming in and out over and over, I didn't want anybody to feel like they couldn't watch my videos because of that, so I tried to blend the two styles. Oops. Let's undo that. But yeah. I'm gonna zoom out a little bit here. And we're gonna add like some broad strokes for the highlight. Whoa, that was way too big. Yeah, like right here. I also had a problem with the fact that for the full screen image that you're seeing, you don't see like live strokes. So if I do one long like this, it just pops up already done. You don't see the actual live stroke happening, which I really didn't like. I'm not sure how to change that setting. This is the way I learned how to set up the stream for the full image. And while it does work for like time lapses and stuff, if you're doing live streams and you're just seeing the full screen image and not the actual live strokes, it just gives it a less authenticity to me. I don't know. I don't know if that's just me. I'm just reading too much into it, but it just doesn't feel as real unless you're seeing it live. Feel free to say I'm reading too much into it. I probably am, in all honesty. Alright, so for this little tendon area, we do want to put like a nice stroke of brightness. I'm also going to blend it a little more. We're going to seep it into the shadow area here, because this is a little too dark. And we're going to feather it towards the end here. So for harmony's sake, we are going to do a couple of strokes of this pink color over the dark areas, like over here where that blue is going to go. It's not going to be as light as this area, of course, but we do want to make sure we do like a, how do you say, like a wash of this pink. Over the shadow areas. Not too dark now, of course, because then you'll lighten it too much, and then you'll end up having to come back in and make it darker again. Let's not forget this little spot right here. Speaking of making sure you save every couple minutes, it's been a while since I've saved. We're going to take a pause real quick, grab something to drink, let the file save. So how are you guys doing? Okay. Let's go ahead back in. Yeah, it's starting to come together. Yeah, typically we don't do live streams this late. It's actually 10 o'clock, where I am in the world. For any international folks, I'm in the United States. So, it is 10 p.m. where I am. Eastern Standard Time. Typically we do our streams around 6 p.m. But it took me it took me hours just to get this set up to work the way I wanted it to. So I'm gonna go ahead and rotate. Oops. Yeah, there we go. Blend, blend, blend. Yeah, this only works with low opacity style renderings. Paintings, if you will. So, at least that's what I've found. Maybe some people are different. They found a different way of doing this. Maybe even a better way. Who knows? That's alright. Whoops. We're just slowly adding life to this dead hand. I don't know, is that just me? It just seems like it's coming to life more. So we're starting to add a little bit of the pink towards the darker shadow areas. Like over here on this pinky, I've been wanting to add it for like 10 minutes. You know when you stare at a part of your painting that you haven't gotten into yet and you're just like, oh my goodness, I hate that, I want to fix it. That's what I've been feeling for the last 20 minutes. Yeah. So this bit of shadow piece right here, this is from that finger. We don't want to lighten it too much. We are going to do like just the teeniest bit of pink on it, and that's about it. Actually see that the line bled a little bit into that shadow area, so I might have to go in and fix that, but for now it's alright. This is a learning experience. This is not supposed to be the most perfect painting in the entire world, you know? Damn, man, this fucking beat. Like, I might add this song, or this video, this entire track, to every future video I make. With respect to the creators, of course. Alright, I think we're getting pretty good with the lighter tone that we did here. I do want to come back in right here and make this edge a bit dark. Well, how to say? Make the opacity a bit more filled out here. This is probably going to be one of the lightest lights of the pink side of the hand. This side is going to be like a blue color, and that's going to be the reflected light. I think that blue light actually came from my computer screen, if I'm not mistaken. When I took the picture, I was sitting at my desktop. And that's probably where that bright blue color is coming from. Blend right here, lighten that edge, that dark edge there. And right here. Just follow this line of the hand, of the crease on the hand. Okay, and right here is going to be a nice pop of color, of light color. Just gonna feather this edge right here since I don't want that dark line to show up. Okay, let's rotate the canvas a bit. Yeah. Whoa, the heck did we do? I think we took you guys for a ride for a minute there to the edge of the canvas. Let's fix that brush size because that's way too big. Whoa. Just having, you know, a nice little hard time with my tools today. Don't mind me. Now we want to blend out that dark area right here where these lines ended, the feathering. Whoa, too small. Hello, welcome to the channel for any new people. We are working on a dynamic hands study. Totally subscribe to our channel if you want to see more things like this. Alright, I think we're good with the pink. Oh yes, I hit Control 0 to zoom out to fit the canvas to the size of the screen. Hit R for rotate. Hit Enter, 0, and then Enter again to make the canvas set to 0%. Control 0 or Command 0 on a Mac. And B for brush. And now we're gonna hard save, so Control S for save. So this is where we're at now with the pink. I might actually add a little bit more pink over here. I think that's probably where the blue is. That looks a little bit more tan than pink, than blue. Let's see what we can do. Yeah, we can probably just add like a nice bit of color there. I'm gonna pop this back up to 5%, so just hit 0 and 5 on your keyboard to get 5%. Just pop some pink right there. We'll probably end up adding some like tan coloring there. So Control 0 or Control minus or Command minus on a Mac to zoom out. Control 0, Command 0 on a Mac. Yeah, I kind of want to just go in here a little bit more. Yeah, to soften that line. Alright, I think this is a good spot. We're actually going to Control plus or Command plus on a Mac. I want to get in right there, add a little bit of pop of color. Yeah, right there along the edge of the fingernail. We are going to paint the nails black at the end. So just for a little bit of contrast with that dark, the shadow area with the darkness of the nail polish. Just going to add a little line of color. We don't want it to be too bright, but a little line of color. I actually might end up lightening this up a little more, but that's okay. Not lightening, shadow, dark. I can speak English today. Darkening it up a little more is what I was trying to say. Yeah, we're just gonna add a little bit more highlight right there, a little pop of color. Just kind of editing the Little bits here and there. I'm just picking at this point at the piece, and that's just me. As a designer, I'm very perfectionist with my artwork. I'll pick at it until I like it, or until I think it's like decent, like halfway decent, and then I'll let go. Until then, I'll just be sitting there just like, okay, fix this, tweak that, add a little more color there, take a little color there off. Y'all know how it goes. Control 0, Command 0 on a Mac. Hit R for rotate, Enter, 0, Enter. Control 0, Command 0 on a Mac. Control S, Command S on a Mac to save. B for brush. Take a quick peek at the reference photo. Alright, we're pretty spot on, I guess, with the shadow. It's not too bad. I do definitely want to add a little bit of like a purple color to the shadow to make it much more lively looking, like organic tissue instead of a zombie hand. Just gonna give the file the chance to save fully. We want to make sure the file fully saves, because if not, and we end up starting to work on it again and Photoshop crashes, you're fucked, bro. That's rough, buddy. Alright, here we go. Now, let's start with that purple color. Gonna go ahead and click the background color. We'll bring this down into a more purple. We're just gonna find like a nice darkish purple that's kind of muted. We do want to add a pop of color, but it shouldn't be super freaking bright. Like the hue shouldn't be all the way up here, for example. I'm gonna undo that real quick. Okay. Add a little bit more brightness to it. I think that there looks pretty good. Okay. Now, let's see where we're going to start that. You know what? Since we're going to be adding a light blue here on this line, I do want to add a little bit more of a blue. So let's make it more of like a muted ultramarine. Yeah, that's better. Okay. Let's get into that. We're going to Control plus or Command plus on a Mac to zoom in. Let's start right here. Oops. Hit X to switch from the foreground color to the background color. And I'm actually going to undo that. So Control Z or Command Z on a Mac to undo what I just did. Alright, now we're going to add that little pop of color. We might actually lower the opacity even further of this brush to 3%. So hit 0.3 on your keyboard. And we're just going to be adding some strategic purplish ultramarine, oops, here and there. Yeah, looks a little bit better. It shouldn't be ultra bright, but it's going to be enough to give it a nice pop of color in the shadowy bits of the piece. I mean, hell, if you want to make it ultra bright, that's go ahead, bro. All power to you. That might actually be cool. It'd be kind of like psychedelic if you have like a bright pink and then a very bright ultramarine right next to it, it would totally give it a nice psychedelic look to it. So we're just going to add a little bit of ultramarine, this muted ultramarine around in the shadowy bits. Right here. We're even going to add like a wash a bit to that gray that we put down as the shadow. So I don't like adding straight black and straight white to things. That's very kind of noob designer. So I tend to add like a darker blue ultramarine or maybe a very muted dark purple. And that's the quote shadow. For any new designers who are like questioning, why don't you just do a dark black color? That's why. It's very noobish. Well, that's my opinion. If you want to use black on your piece, go for it. All more power to you. Everybody is free to do what they want on their art. That's just my opinion, and that's how I do my artwork, and that's fine. Also, if any of you folks decide to do a dynamic hand study or something akin to this after seeing my video, please totally link me or send me your artwork. I totally want to see it. I would be so excited to see that. Let's all learn how to draw hands together. Hands are really tough though, I'll be honest with you. I love drawing them, don't get me wrong, but they are difficult to do. Was hands and feet. Definitely feet are like some of my more struggling points when I do poses or anatomy. So it's always good to have like a little reminder, touch up on some of the harder things. Yeah, I kind of want to get rid of this dark line right here, so I'm going to add a little bit of that, a little more of the shadow with the purple right here. And right here definitely, because this is going to be the brightest blue section, as well as on the palm here, the edge of the palm. So we definitely want to add this purple here to this, so that it blends in the pink to the blue, if that makes sense. Oops. Sorry. Yeah, another fun fact, I hold my pen kind of backwards a little bit. The buttons are facing away from me, and I keep accidentally pressing it. That's why you see the paintbrush tool window showing up every couple of seconds. Trying to get a smallish brush, but it keeps going back up. Stop it! Ooh. Ooh. This fucking beat, though! Yeah, man, I love having freaking music on when I'm working because it totally sets the mood. Like, there's nothing more ADHD, I feel like, if you don't put on music and that doesn't motivate you to actually do the thing. And yes, I have ADHD. But yeah, it makes it so much easier to do stuff when you have music playing. I don't know if that's just me, but I just gotta have music. If I'm gonna clean, if I'm gonna wash dishes or cook, I gotta have music on. So later on when we start doing the nails, we're gonna leave the nail beds right now blank. I know that looks funny, but for right now. When we start adding in the dark blue, because it's going to be a mix mosh of like dark blues and light grays, as well as a streak of white, just for like reflected light on the nail polish. This ultramarine kind of line we're adding right here, this muted ultramarine, will make it blend a little bit better. And I will probably add like a nice, like I said before, a white tip right here along this line. You'll see it in a bit when I get to that section of the design. It makes the nail beds pop a little more, I find. How to say, the edge of the nail, rather, not the nail bed. Yeah. This is coming along. So for this bit of shadow from the other finger, we do want to add a little bit of this purple, but we don't want it to be too bright, like right here along this line, because this is one of the darkest sections. We don't want it to be too washed out. So I'm just going to add it to the very end. It's going to feather out here, so we're just going to do a little bit, and that's it. Damn it! Just ignore that bit right there. Me that I'm trying to be all professional about it, and I keep pressing the button. There we go. We're gonna follow along this dark crease line. Ugh. Alright, let's go ahead and... we're gonna zoom out and do like an overall wash of this purple on this dark section right here. So Control 0 or Command 0 on a Mac. Hit R for rotate, Enter. 0, Enter. Control 0, Command 0 on a Mac. And B for brush. Okay, so... oh, I see we missed actually the thumb here, so we're gonna go do that first, but we're going to do like a nice wash of this whole section from here all the way underneath the pinky. Control plus or Command plus on a Mac. If you hit the space, if you press and hold the space bar, it opens up the little hand tool, so that way you can move around your canvas without drawing on it. In case anybody was wondering how I'm getting the little hand to show up. I'm so used to doing this with a keyboard, so I keep defaulting to the keyboard even though I have this little fancy remote that I'm supposed to be using. Alright, we're gonna zoom out a bit here. I don't know, I just don't like the freaking mouse as much as I like the keyboard. I'm so used to the freaking keyboard. Alright. Gonna get a little bit of a bigger brush, but nothing too massive now. And just lightly add in a wash of purple. Want to do it on the underside as well. A little bit of a bigger brush. There we go. Yeah, this part right here was bothering me the most because it's like very dead looking. Sorry if I sound like a broken record repeating myself. With a bigger brush, and just blend, blend, blend. Then we're gonna get a smaller brush and get in these little creases right here. Little crease. Make sure you feather it out and make the darkest part in the center of the lines, and then just lightly pull it out on the edges. Because it shouldn't be ultra dark at the end. It's just gonna feather out. Gonna make the brush a little bit smaller and add some... That's not smaller, come on now. Let's pump up the opacity to 5%. Hit 0.5 on your keyboard to make it 5%. So we do want to add the texture, the skin texture, without, you know... We don't want it to be super dark, but we do want it to show texture. So just do like a nice kind of almost flat U shape going with the shape of the hand. And we're just gonna pull that out. Yeah, here and there we're gonna do it. Not too much, but you know, here and there. We're also going to do that with the knuckles. With a nice small brush with a low opacity, just pull it out. Yeah, this is coming together. You do want to do like a fingerprint texture, but I do want to save that for last. So for right now, let's just do it around the knuckles. Because I do want to add a highlight, a nice little bead of light that's going to be the brightest sections of the piece. But for right now, the knuckles can get a little bit of line texturing, that's fine. Also over here we haven't done yet, so this part over here looks pretty gray. We are going to go in here and make a nice wash of things. You know, I say wash a lot for someone who does not do watercolor. Or acrylic, or oil in any way. And right here around the edges. I'm going along with this line here, this dark line from the line art that I did, the rough sketch that I kind of did. I'm trying to just feather out that edge, since it's a hard line and I can't really do anything about it now since I already started painting it. But yeah, you can just take a little bit of color here and just pull it out and feather it at the tip. Yeah. All right. Okay, so let's hit R on the keyboard, enter, 0, enter. Control 0, Command 0 on the Mac. Alright. Yeah, you can see a bit. I'm gonna hit brush, B for brush. You can see a little bit of the texturing happening here. Also, this is a little too dark. That edge right there is a little too dark, so I'm gonna have to come back in with some of that bright pink and fix that, but that's alright. You can see some of the texturing happening here, so I think once we get to the end, after we've done like the highlights, the beads of light, that's going to really make the piece pop. I think this texturing is definitely going to make the... It's gonna like make or break the design in the end. Just trust me, it's gonna look good. Well, at least I think it looks good. Alright, so before I forget, let's go ahead and hit X on the keyboard to flip the background color to the foreground color. And we're going to go in right there, Control plus or Command plus on a Mac. Press and hold spacebar to move. Oh, you can also actually use the brackets on your keyboard. Left bracket decreases the size of the paintbrush. Right bracket increases the size of the paintbrush. So we're gonna lower the opacity a little bit. We're at 5% right now for the dark, for the ultramarine color. We're gonna hit 0.3 on the keyboard to drop it to 3%. And we're just going to lighten that little end right there, that little tip right there. There we go. Left bracket to decrease the size. We're just gonna go along this line. Okay. I really want to get this line out from the line art, but that's alright. It's line art, it's bound to show up in the final piece, it's okay. Alright, we're gonna make this a little bit bigger. Just feather it out. Okay, Control 0, Command 0 on a Mac. Alright. I think this is coming along. Control S or Command S on a Mac to save. We're gonna give the file a second to save, and I'm gonna take a water break. Gonna take a quick break and we'll be right back in like 2 minutes, folks. Alright, we're back. Alright, so we're going to start... Actually, yeah, let's go ahead and zoom out a bit. Control minus on Windows, Command minus on a Mac. And then use the right bracket to increase the size.